Good morning, everybody. Today we are in Unit 4, Writing, and your lesson is Writing a Story. In this lesson, you will be able to identify purpose, paragraph, content, and stylistic feature of a story. Number 2, you will be able to describe previous experience. Okay, the first question will be for you: do you play tricks on your friends? If yes, why? If not, no. If the answer is no, why not? Okay, some of you will say yes, and actually I do play a lot of tricks on my friends because we all have a great sense of humor and laugh a lot with the tricks we play on each other. What do we mean by play a trick? Play a trick, it's the same when you play a joke or when you prank someone, prank your friend. Play a joke, it means you create a situation or let's say create a situation to make your friends look embarrassed or sometimes silly. Others, they don't like such things and they don't play tricks on others because maybe, no, I don't, because it's not nice to put your friends in a difficult situation and make them feel uncomfortable or embarrassed. We know that playing tricks is not acceptable from everyone. Some people don't feel so comfortable when you let them feel like they are silly or even funny. Okay, if you already answered the question with yes, you have another question, which is, okay, please, what's the best trick you have ever played on someone or someone has ever played on you? For me, I choose this answer. It is about my brother. My brother played a good trick on me. He was away studying at university abroad, I mean outside of Saudi Arabia. And the whole family was expecting him to come home for a few days because we were celebrating a special occasion. It was Eid al-Fitr. While we were waiting for him at the airport as a family, all of us were at the airport, he phoned me to tell me that he had missed his flight and would not be able to come after all. So the whole family were in the airport waiting for him, and he surprised us that he would not be able to come because he missed the flight. We were all very disappointed, especially my mother. So we drove back home in silence, and as we were entering the house, we saw my brother there. He said, "Surprise, I'm here." After all, he had taken an earlier flight, actually, just to play a trick on us, and the good news in this trick that he was waiting for us at home with gifts for every one of us. Okay, so each one of you might has his own tricks that he played or someone played on him. Try to write it, arrange it, organize it, remember the time, the main characters, and the ending and your feeling and other feelings during this trick. Okay, look at your book, please, and focus on task completion, style, and organization. Let's say that you have decided to enter a short story competition on an international online magazine. There is a competition. The competition rules say that the story must begin with the following words: Ammar could not stop laughing every time he thought about what had happened that day. So this is the introduction of the story. You have to read a short story with this beginning. Okay, let's go to your book. Okay, look here. If you notice that we have here a tower, where do you think this tower is? It should be in Jeddah or Dammam because it is on the sea. Say this is the water tower of Al Khobar. Okay, so the trick will be something around sea, beach. Okay, second thing, read the title, Quiet and Experience. Quiet and experience. So it was a perfect, it means it was a perfect tricks someone play on other. Okay. Ammar could not stop laughing every time he thought about what had happened that day. So this is the beginning of the competition as the rules said. He and some friends were spending a few days in Dammam and they had decided to go camping near a beautiful beach in the area. If you noticed that is used here is past simple and past perfect and past progressive because he is sharing a previous experience. Look here, they had decided. He and some friends were spending. And as you know, when we have two actions or series of actions happened in the past, we have to use these two tenses, past progressive and past perfect. The days had passed so quickly. During their stay, they had visited many places, including the impressive Al Khobar water tower in the nearby town of Al Khobar. This is the water tower that in the page. And now it was their last day. They really wanted to make the most of it. When we say we want to make the most of it, it means we want to spend every moment of the day in distinguished, good, interesting way. They really wanted to make the most of it. So as soon as they woke up, they set off for the beach, as they all wanted to go fishing one last time. So they said, let's go fishing, especially that most of them like fishing. The day started off uneventfully until they decided to stop fishing and go swimming. So the day was going so smooth. There was nothing distinguished, there was nothing interesting, there was nothing memorable. It's just an ordinary day. So they stopped fishing and go swimming. It was particularly hot day. It was especially a hot day. Ammar decided to join in the fun, so he jumped in water too. He was swimming when suddenly he felt something brush against his leg. So Ammar joined them and he started swimming. Suddenly, without any introduction, just like this, he felt something brush against his legs. After that, Sammy screamed, and everyone ran out of the water. You know shark, it's a sea animal, and it's very dangerous for a human being. So they ran out of the water, but remember that Ammar felt something brush his eggs, so he was scared that the shark is around him. And everyone ran out of the water, leaving Ammar behind. He was so scared that he couldn't move. Some of us, when they are in so scary situation, they paralyzed, they cannot move. A few moments later, Ammar heard his friend Sami giggling. Giggling, it's a laugh, but it's the beginning of laughing. He immediately, at the same time, knew that Sami was playing another one of his tricks again, so he relaxed and started laughing. So as you see that Ammar took the tricks easily and found it fun, and he didn't get angry. When everyone else realized what had happened, they started chasing Sami. It means they were running after him. Apparently, Sami had been waiting for the last day to scare everyone. It's one of his habits. It's clear from the passage or the short story that he didn't miss any chance to play tricks on his friends. He had planned everything perfectly. Perfectly, it means in a good, excellent way, and managed to make their last day unforgettable. Of course, he also gave Ammar a scary experience to talk about. So, I want you to concentrate in the tenses that the writer used here. As we said, past simple, past progressive, and past perfect. Okay? Here we have some question about this story. Number 1. What did Ammar and his friend think was in the water? Can you remember? What did Ammar and his friend think was in the water? So, Ammar, if you remember that he thought there is a shark when he felt something brush his leg. So yes, they thought, instead of saying or repeating Ammar and his friends, we can just say they. They thought because the question is in the past, the writer used did, so we have to change the verb from present, which is think, to thought. They thought that a shark was in the water. Okay, go to question number 2. Does the writer start the story in appropriate way? Is the prompt sentence changed at all? What do you think of the introduction, of the beginning of the story? Always, any good story has introduction, and the introduction should be so attractive to push the readers to complete reading your articles, story, essay, whatever. So for me, yes, he. Other maybe say no, she doesn't, or no, it doesn't happen. For me, yes, the writer starts the story in an appropriate way. We all feel that we want to know what happened to Ammar and his friend. From the first sentence to the last sentence, we didn't lose our awareness or sense of curiosity. Okay. The writer used narrative tenses in the story. As we know, when you write a story, you have to use the narrative tenses. Find and underline example of, number 1, an action that happened before something else in the past. If you remember, I told you that when we write a short story happened in the past, we have to use two tenses. Number 1, past perfect. Number 2, past progressive. To deal with the action, series of action, when both of them happened in the past, but one of them is before the other. So, yes, the answer is here. If you remember, he and he and some friends were spending a few days in Dammam, and they had decided to go camping near a beautiful beach in the area. Look at the first sentence. Were spending, friends, plural, so the suitable helping verb is were, and the verb should be in ing, spending. And they had decided. The second action, after they spending a few days in Dammam, they decided. So the second verb should be in the past perfect, had decided. As we know that they is plural pronoun, and it's the same. Even if it is plural or singular pronoun, you will use had in the past perfect. Had decided. Decided is the past participle of the verb decide. To go camping near a beautiful beach in the area. Okay, there is another series of action. They took two tenses, which is two tenses which we call narrative tenses. When everyone else realized what had happened, they started chasing Sammy. They started chasing Sammy. So the first tense, realized, everyone realized what had happened. The second, started chasing. The third answer for the same question is, he had planned everything perfectly and managed to make their last day unforgettable. So the first action is, when I say first action, it doesn't mean it's before or after. Okay, so had planned, past perfect, he as a subject, singular pronoun, and it doesn't make any difference because had goes with even if the pronoun or subject singular or plural. Had planned, okay, planned is the past participle of plan. The second action was managed to make. Again, past simple. So don't forget, this is a very important in narrating a story or writing a short story. Use two tenses when you are talking or writing about series of action. Past perfect and past simple, or past perfect and past progressive. Okay, let's go to the second question. Still, he wants you to give him the answer from the same passage. An action that was taking place when it was interrupted by another action. So he wants you to find two actions, one interrupted the other. They didn't happen in one after another, no. One interrupted the other. We will check the answer. Okay, try to find it yourself, then check the right answer with me. Here, he was swimming when suddenly he felt something brush against his leg. So he was swimming, he was relaxed, but suddenly something interrupted the swimming, which was he felt something brush against his leg. Number 3, a series of action that happened one after another in the past. There are a lot of these, as we said. Let's say as soon as they woke up, they sent off for the beach, or Ammar decided to join in the fun, so he jumped, so decided to join, then he jumped into the water too. Sammy screamed and everyone ran out of the water. An action that had started and continued up to a certain point in the past. Sammy had been waiting for the last day to scare everyone. The last question is the writer style formal or informal? Give example. For sure, it wasn't formal at all because it's a story between friends. So, it was informal. Example, couldn't. We know that informal essay or letters or reports, you have to say could not. Okay? Don't shorten the phrase or sentence or words. Shark, okay? Scary, etc. Thank you very much for listening. We come to the end of the lesson. See you soon.